Okay, so now we're going to do Chapter 6, some of the questions in Cengage. And before we do that, I just want to quickly refer back to the PowerPoints. This particular homework is looking at artificial price supports. So as a reminder, there's two kinds. There's price ceiling and price floors. Price ceilings are the upper limits on prices imposed by a government unit. So that basically means it's a price that can't exceed or go above some amount. And keep in mind, price ceilings are only problems when they're set below equilibrium. So you want to review your notes about that. But if a price ceiling is set below equilibrium point, that means it's a binding price ceiling. So again, the binding price ceilings are when they're set below the equilibrium point, and that's when price ceilings become a problem. A price floor, on the other hand, is where the government sets a minimum limit on prices established by a governmental unit. So it means prices can't go below some amount. So just like with the price ceilings, there's always a situation in which the price floor will be a problem. So if a price floor is set above the equilibrium, so it's higher than the equilibrium price, then that is going to be considered a binding price floor. And that's the kind of price floor that causes problems. So again, if a problem says it's a binding price ceiling or a binding price floor, it means the artificial price support has been set such that it's an issue for the economy. There'll be some problems. So going to the problems. So question number 1 asks, the following graph shows the market for cheese. Suppose the government decides to impose a price floor of $3 per pound in the cheese market. A price floor of $3 per pound of cheese, we'll say blank, will not or will be a binding price floor. So based on what I just said, what you'll want to do, look at the picture, and as you can see here, the equilibrium price is $5. So the question is telling you, if you go back, that the price floor has been set at $3. So that would be below the equilibrium. But this is a price floor. So review what I just went over, review your notes, and I think you'll be able to quickly answer that question. The next part says, when a price floor of $3 per pound of cheese, with a price floor of $3 per pound of cheese, there will be, and then it says blank, either a shortage or neither, or a surplus of cheese. Again, the price is set below equilibrium, but this is a price floor. So make sure to think about what's happening here. The next part. The price floor of $3 per pound of cheese reduces the total revenue of cheese producers. So once again, what you want to be doing here is thinking about, is this price floor being set at $3 causing any sort of trouble in the economy? Okay, so the last part of question number 1 is now saying, suppose the government imposes a binding price floor. So as a reminder, a price floor that's binding is the one that has to be set, it would be set above. So if we use the picture here, it'd be set above your equilibrium level. So it says the government imposes a binding price floor in the cheese market, and they agree to purchase all the surplus cheese, so surplus the extra cheese at the price floor. So the question is asking you who would benefit from that policy and who would be the one that would, in quotes, lose from that policy. So whoever benefits here, you would put, remember, producer means the firms, the people selling this product, and the taxpayer would be the people paying so that the government can purchase all this extra surplus. So I hope that helps with that one. Okay, question number 2, I'm just going to tell you because we actually won't get to elasticity at this time. Just go ahead. I'm giving you the answer. Go ahead and put false on that question. Moving right along. Okay, question number 3. So this question is going to actually have you kind of start moving things around in the diagram. So remember, when you move things around, you're going to use your clicker. You're going to right click and then you can move. So here are the directions. Make sure that you read the directions, and I would read this at least 2 times before you start trying to answer this question. So you start off with, suppose the minimum wage is $7 per hour in the market for unskilled labor, as shown in the following graph. So the minimum wage has been set above your equilibrium point. So just to kind of remind you here, a minimum wage would be considered a price floor. So price floors, what you want to remember is, when are they a problem? Well, or binding. When they're a problem, or when they're binding, is a binding price floor is when they're set above equilibrium. So notice that's what's happened here. And so what you'll want to do is just go through and answer the questions one at a time. So for the last part of this question, number 3, right here, where it's asking you about elasticity of demand and elasticity of supply, again, since we won't be covering those topics until section 2, I'm just going to give you the answers. So I'm not going to explain them, I'm just going to give you the answers. So you'll want to check elasticity of demand for employment and unemployment, and then for elasticity of supply, you're going to want to check off unemployment. So that should help you out with chapter number 6, and that's it.